You are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'.
What is going down? What is going down? This is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. This is episode number 435. Guys, welcome back. It has been a long couple of weeks for your boy, okay? Where should I begin? First, I'm going to talk about what we're going to discuss in this episode. There's going to be no anime watch list because I hadn't had time to watch any. But I'm going to talk a little bit about Crimson Desert. We had some updates, some pretty awesome updates. We're going to talk a little bit of some Black Flag Resynced. And we're also going to talk about some PlayStation drama, guys. Yes, there is more PlayStation drama. I'm going to address that as well. So without further ado, let's begin the show. But before I do, I want to give you guys the reason why I have not been putting out episodes. Okay. And some of you guys know that I have been trying to start a YouTube channel. I actually have multiple YouTube channels that I'm trying to start, but I only have time to focus on one at a time because, work, family, kids, all of that. So the one I chose to focus on is one that goes by the name of Gray Chin Shinobi. Now, this channel specializes in relationships, marriage, and reactions. So I do a lot of reaction videos here, and I focus on red pill content. I focus on relationships, things of that nature, right? And so, I started this back in early 2025. And throughout that journey, of course, there were ups and downs. I actually took 4 months off, kind of got away from me, got a little discouraged, if I'm being honest. And then 2026 came around and I said, you know what? I'm not going to fuck around anymore. I'm going to take this 110% serious and I'm not backing down. So I decided to, go into it, I guess, with a brand new mindset. And so I did that and it paid off, especially in these last couple of weeks, because the last week I had a video that, kind of blew up a little bit. It did like 20 something thousand views. Okay. But at that time, I only had 500 subscribers. Okay. And with that video, it basically got me monetized. Okay. So I was able to get over 500 new subscribers and I was able to get monetized. So I say all that to say, man, my work paid off after about 300 something videos, half of them being shorts, half of them being long form video. I'm here happy to say that this channel is finally monetized. And so that is another stream of income that I was able to unlock. And, on my journey, if you guys don't know, was to always work from home, set myself up to where I'm just doing that and able to just focus on all the things that I ever wanted to do, all my interests and all that. And this is the first major step in that direction. So I'm proud to announce that. And anyone who did go over there and help and subscribe to the channel, thank you very much. If you haven't, go over there, go to YouTube, look up Gray Chin Shinobi and subscribe. Okay. And yeah, so next on the list will probably be, I have a Dragon Ball channel. I also have a gaming channel, Random Gameplay Pimpin' on YouTube, that I want to focus on eventually. But right now I just don't have the time. So my goal is to eventually get to the point where I am focused on working at home, right? Where I very rarely have to work outside of the home. And then I can devote more time to those channels. So that's my goal. And, that's where I'm at right now. So just wanted to get that out of the fucking way. It's been a crazy week. I'm blessed and all of that. So I say all that to say, look, man, I encourage anyone to look into that. If you have a passion, if you have something you really, really love talking about, you can monetize it, guys. We live in an age now where this is possible. And with a little patience and consistency, you can do whatever you want. If you had to ask me right now, what would you have to do to make it on YouTube? I would just simply say there's two things only. And that is what I just said. Consistency, number one, and patience, number two. If you combine those two things together, you will eventually have a successful channel. I don't care if you're talking about shit. I don't care if you're talking about cups. You could be talking about fingernails, okay, toenails, whatever it is. If you're consistent with uploading and you're patient, eventually you will find your audience, okay? And you will eventually be able to profit off of that. Everybody can do it. You don't need a computer. You can start with a phone, okay? And you can just go from there. All right. That's what I did. And it finally came through. And this is just the first step. So eventually my goal was always to retire at 50 to the point where I'm just not doing any of this. I'm working from home completely. So we're on that journey. Okay. And it actually happened sooner than I thought. I wasn't planning on being monetized until at least, after the summer, going into the fall, maybe. But consistency paid off. I had a couple of videos that did really well. And here we are. So I'll leave that there. Anyway, let's move on and let's get into the gaming sector, shall we? Now, the gaming sector, I want to talk about some Crimson Desert. I haven't even had a chance to play Crimson Desert, guys. I haven't played Crimson Desert in, a week? Yeah, over a week it's been since I was able to play Crimson Desert. And the reason that is because of this YouTube shit. I have been just 10 toes down, making videos focused on that stuff, guys. And you definitely need to commit and put time in. And so, it's not hard. It's just a little bit repetitive sometimes. And I'm cool with that. I'd rather be doing this than doing what I'm doing right now. So I'm trying to segue into that and eventually make this my number one income and make the other one just a supplemental income. But anyway, Crimson Desert has been out. I've been trying to play, guys. There have been times where I've actually had the PlayStation on. Okay. Have the controller sitting there. I got the laptop in front of me and I'm editing and I'm like, okay, when I get done with this edit, I'm jumping on the game. My avatar is just sitting there. His cape flowing in the wind, all of that shit. Right. And I always end up doing something else in editing. Time just gets away from me and then boom, you know what I mean? So that's kind of my story. So I have a few days off now and I hope to get my hands on Crimson Desert. Okay. Sometime in these next few days, because the last time I checked, I was farming and I was still trying to get my arrow where I wanted to be before I continue. That's the last thing I really want to do before I start exploring and just getting into stuff. I'm farming these emblems for my arrow so that I can have 100% chance of, replenishing my I guess it's a bomb arrow, explosive arrows. And so that I never run out of explosive arrows. So that's what I'm working on right now. Once I get that done, boom, I'm going on some missions. I'm going to go tackle some quests or whatever. So that's what I'm trying to do now. I pretty much got all the stuff other than that I really want for the most part. But there have been updates and they have been listening, guys. I mean, let's start off with the difficulty setting is finally here now. You can adjust the difficulty. You have normal. I think you have hard and there's an easy mode. So that's dope. There's also a visual and performance upgrade, noticeable improvements to distant object rendering, textures, and hair lighting. There's also pet improvements. Okay. Added bird pets, pet naming. So now you can name your pets, and an accessory slot for pets to take on new roles, such as a seagull of bonding to keep cats on shoulders longer. Wow. There's a lot of things that I have not unlocked in this game, and you unlock it as you progress through the story. So I'm basically still in the early stages of the game. There's still so many places I have not been. And like I said, this game is just huge, guys. You can get lost in just doing side stuff like fishing or, farming for certain things that you're looking for, like me right now. And that can just fill up your whole day of gaming, right? So this game I'll be playing for years, guys. There's no doubt about it. I'll definitely be taking my breaks. You know what I'm saying? But I will be playing that. So yeah, that's where we're at there. Also, housing and storage. Major updates to the housing system, allowing for better decorating and item storage. So they're just adding stuff, and I think they're going to add more and more and more as time progresses. And that's beautiful. That's always a beautiful thing. We also have combat and controls, new skills, improved attack chaining, and faster object rotation in puzzles. So it just keeps getting better and better. Then you have inventory and economy, new category tabs for inventory and better sorting, adding livestock vendors for pets and updated prices for certain goods. So these are things that a lot of people weren't even thinking about, including myself, but they've added here. And I'm so gracious and so grateful, guys, straight up. And I look forward to more to come, straight up. I really do. Yeah, so that's your update on Crimson Desert. Like I said, I hope to play some in the next few days, and I'm excited for that. So I just been working my ass off, guys, but between work, between YouTube, and family, I've been torn. Like I had to go to a birthday party Saturday. Like it's just a lot of stuff going on, but I'm sure you guys understand that. Anyway, let's move on down the line. And before I do, though, I kind of want to talk about Dragon Ball Sparking Zero a little bit, because they have some things coming as well. There's a new mode, a game mode there, and we're finally going to get some new characters that I'm eagerly anticipating, which is Mercenary Tao. There's a lot of cool characters that are going to be coming here, and there's King Piccolo as well. Like I'm really looking forward to the OG characters. There's some GT characters too that a lot of people have been looking forward to, and some other game modes and stuff. So really, really anxious for that. Then we have Xenoverse 3, which has been announced for 2027. There's no actual date yet, but it is 2027. So that's going to be interesting as well, guys. So the Dragon Ball channel will definitely be getting a boost in 2027 for sure. So I'm definitely kind of thinking beyond the horizon on that to try to get some stuff going over there. And yeah, man, I just really, really have some good ideas. It's just really hard to monetize those type of channels when you're dealing with anime and stuff like that. So you got to be real careful with what you put out there and the likes of. So yeah, man, I'm excited as a gamer, as a Dragon Ball fan. There's a lot of stuff, cool things. I just wanted to slide that in there real quick because, a lot of us haven't played that in a while. I know I haven't, and I'm anxious to get back out there, and I hope we get our costumes. They claim we're going to get some costumes and stuff, new costumes, some new stages. And I really hope we get some costumes. I hope we get Tien Shinhan's Majin Buu outfit. Please, can we get that, guys? I'm not asking for much. as probably the biggest Tien Shinhan fan out here in the world of Dragon Ball, I would really love that for my boy, okay? It should have been in the game. It was in the first one. And I don't know why they didn't put it in here. I just really hate some of the practices that have been adopted current day as opposed to what it used to be. And that's just, it's just what it is. But we better get that outfit is all I'm saying. So I'll leave it there. But anyway, moving on. Let's talk about some Black Flag. Black Flag Resynced. Okay. This game came out, the original Black Flag in 2013. And, it's been a popular game. It was a popular game at the time. I never got a chance to play it, but I heard great things about it. I may try to look at this one because this one seems like, it might be up my alley, and it's coming out July 9th. Okay. So July has some games coming out, a couple games that I'm kind of looking forward to. I'm kind of intrigued by. That's one of them. Another one would be the Sword Art Online game. That, a lot of people are talking about, but that's another conversation. But anyway, I think I'll bring that back later at another time. But right now, Black Flag Resynced is what I'm talking about. And it's single player only this time. There's no DLC because the other game had DLC. And, they're basically cutting off all the fat of this and making it a remake of an older game. And so they have done some things as far as the graphics, of course. That's numero uno. It looks beautiful. I saw, some videos on it. It looks breathtaking. And they added some things when it comes to the fighting of the ships, also the combat as well. So they've kind of refined a lot of things here, and it looks cool. Like I said, from what I saw, it really looked cool. And I'm going to look at it a little bit more, but it looks like something I would love to add to the library. I'm not saying day one or anything like that, but it's definitely one that I would be curious about to add to the library. I'm a huge Assassin's Creed fan. I have pretty much all of the RPG Assassin's Creed games, Odyssey, Shadows, Origins. I have all those, Valhalla, love those. So we'll see what happens with this game here, but it is a thing and a lot of people are talking about it. So I wanted to kind of mention that. Okay. Next and last on the list, really, I want to talk about this PlayStation 5 thing that everybody seems to be talking about. And it has to do with the DRM drama. Okay. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically going to be for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, and it's going to be digital games. Okay. So at first I was like, wow, everything. Okay. I could kind of breathe a little bit of relief, but it's going to be digital still. There's a lot of digital games that I own on these systems. So yeah, that would definitely worry your boy a little bit. But if you don't know what DRM is, it's basically a online thing that you need to have. In other words, you need to have your system connected online to play the games that you bought. Okay. And if you don't, then you're not going to have access to those games. Also, just say the internal memory within your consoles ends up dying, or the battery ends up going out on that, then that means also that you're going to be shut out. The games that you have are just, they're going to be vaporware. Okay. So apparently how this works, there's going to be a 30-day check-in. So newly purchased digital games on PS4 and PS5 may now require the console to connect to the internet at least once every 30 days to verify the license. So basically, if you don't do that, and then you won't be able to play your games that you paid for unless you have internet connection. So if you're a guy who likes to play online, your power goes out, whatever it may be, for whatever reason, and you want to play some of your games that you bought digitally, if you don't have internet, you're not going to be able to make that happen. Okay. And a lot of people are worried about, of course, when the life cycle of the PlayStation 5 or 4 ends, right? You're not going to be able to have access to these games anymore, because once the servers are killed, then it's just going to be basically a brick system. So a lot of people are worried about that. Now, hopefully what they do is, if that happens, or they get close to doing that they will take that DRM off and allow people just to enjoy the games that they paid for. Because if they're not supporting the system anymore, then what money would they actually be losing if they took the DRM off? And, that's for them to do. We don't know. It's in their power to do that. They could be dicks and say, no, we're not doing that. But we'll see, guys. If they value their fan base, they would definitely consider doing that shit. Okay. And then there's license expiration. If the console remains offline for more than 30 days, the game may become unplayable until an internet connection is re-established to verify ownership. Pretty much what I just said. Affected games. Reports suggest this applies to new digital purchases made after a recent firmware update, roughly late March, early April 2026, rather than existing libraries. Okay. So this is what we're looking at here. And yeah, and then it says no primary bypass. Unlike previous systems, setting a console as primary reportedly does not bypass the 30-day requirement. So yeah, so you're not going to be able to do that. It's not going to work for you. And this is what has a lot of people upset right now. Now, if you recall, Xbox did this way back in like 2013-ish with their system, and they got so much fucking backlash that they had to reverse that decision, guys. Okay. Because nobody wants to buy something and then all of a sudden have a company tell you that you don't own it or you can't access it, which is one of the dumbest things in my opinion, guys. You can't sell somebody something or an IP, let them buy it, and then decide to give them no access after a certain amount of time passes. Because it would be one thing if you had access to it another way, but you don't. These games are just gone because you feel like no one needs to play these again. And that's the beauty of, in my opinion, that's the beauty of physical media. Because even if, the digital gods came in right now and just shut all my digital shit down and said, there's no way you can play this anymore, I still have plenty of games that I have access to that I don't need internet connection to play. So games, and I'll always have something to play that's what I'm trying to say. But we want to be able to play everything that we paid for. We want to be able to have access to everything that we've bought and not have them become bricks. That's basically what I'm saying. That's basically what a lot of other people are saying. And that's all we want. We just want to be done right. We don't want to be, shafted like this as gamers. So hopefully this is, a lot of people are saying this is just a glitch. This is not something that is concrete, but people have found this. And right now, as of this recording, Sony has not commented on this. So maybe hopefully in the next week, we get some sort of confirmation that this is just, was a glitch in the system, or if they tell us what they plan on doing. OK, and who knows, this probably could be a slick move from Sony where they planted this because they knew eventually people were going to talk about it and it would catch fire. And so they could kind of test the temperature, so to speak. So just trying to see how people are talking about it, how they feel. And, if enough people kick up enough dust and they're trying to plan that, then they could look at it and say, oh, well, shit, let's go ahead and just kill that because, as you can see, they don't like it. OK, and companies try to do this. They try to get slick and do underhanded things on the low to kind of gauge the situation. And then off of that situation, that's when they decide, yay or nay on it. And hopefully this deters them from doing this because nobody wants that DRM shit. Everybody that I know hates it, and I hate it too, especially for games we pay for. Bro, I want to be able to play this whenever I fucking want to. Okay, whether I'm online or not, I pay for it. You guys have the fucking receipts. Let me play this shit however I fucking want. All right. So that's just my opinion on there. I think they need to find other ways to circumvent people who are actually stealing games. I think there's ways to do it, but they don't want to fucking do that. And I think they just need to find different ways so that can solve that. But anyway, that's nor here nor there. That's what I want to do. And that's how I feel about it. And it is what it is. Anyway, this episode wasn't very long. Didn't have a lot to talk about, guys, but I did want to, bring up this, and it has been 2 weeks since I had a show, and I didn't want to leave you guys hanging. And so, hopefully we get a state of play soon. Okay. And I can break down some more things, but apparently this is all I have right now. Your boy has been spread so thin. It is ridiculous, but I'm going to get out of here now. I want to thank everybody for listening, downloading, streaming the show. Hopefully next week we got some more news. We got some more things to talk about. And by then my workload will have decreased. Okay. Cause I'm going to bust my ass these next few days on YouTube so I can catch up and get caught up, because how YouTube works, if you're not familiar with it, the object, or the goal of YouTube is to upload as much as you can for an extended period of time. Okay. So I can make 10 videos right now if I wanted to all night, and then I could upload all 10 and I could set release dates for those 10 videos. And that's how most people who are doing it on a regular basis do that. Right. So because if you had to do it every day, you'd miss days because things would happen, things would come up. So while you are doing it, you might as well take it upon yourself to do multiple videos so that you can buy yourself some time in case something happens. Maybe you get sick. Maybe you're going to go on vacation, whatever. You know what I mean? You need some time, and you feel a lot better knowing that those videos are done, uploaded, and finished. That way you can take a breather, take a break. And I tend to try to do that when new games come out. And I have done that. I did it when Crimson Desert first came out. I did it when Neo 3 came out, and so on and so forth. So now that I am monetized and this is kind of like another income and I look at it as another job, I have to go a little bit harder. And so, I'm working a little harder. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully this all pays off to the point where I can, ease off of my current job and give myself more time. That way, more stuff with gaming, more stuff with my other channels, and so on and so forth. So I think God is trying to tell me something. Hey, man, he's blessing me. He's like, yo, I got you monetized. And did you know that only 9% of anybody and everybody on YouTube is actually monetized, actually has 1,000 subscribers? So that in itself told me that, yo, you really did something, because it's not for the weak at heart. If you do want to get into this, you definitely got to stay vigilant. But hey, we're here. That's all that matters. Hopefully we can get Random Gameplay Pimping to do the same thing. And yeah, so I need you guys to help me with that. Let's make it a reality. That being said, guys, I'm going to get out of here now. I love you guys dearly, and I will see you guys in the next episode. This is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you have been listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. See you next time.